Hi everybody, it's Joni here at Joni's Journals. How are you? I am back today. It's Sunday, but you may not see this video until tomorrow on Monday. But I wanted to see if maybe we could get started with creating a stuffed pocket from scratch. Now, if you saw my previous video concerning the stuffed pocket, we were working on this one and we merely decorated it. You may notice that I have, since we last spoke to each other, I have added some lace to the tags and I've tucked this little lady in here. Again, I don't really know if she's boho, but I thought the colors went. I don't know if she'll stay. I've added some lace to this tag. And I've also added some lace to this tag. My viewer, the amount of time that people viewed this video had gone down. So I think it was merely because I wasn't really showing you too much what we did to create the pocket. And so I figured I would come along today and I would show you how I begin the stuffed pocket. Now, in this case, yesterday we used, or Saturday, it might be 2 days ago, we used Tracy Fox's Bold Boho. It was my creative design team project for her. And now I am using a kit that was put on her KoFi by Margareth at 7 Plaza, and it's called Field Notes. And I thought that this might be a fun little kit to work with. And of course, I will be incorporating some of Tracy's little tags and a few of her pockets and some of her bugs, because nobody makes better bugs than Tracy Fox. So I've cut out a bunch of things from her kit, her vintage bug ephemera, and aren't these bugs just wonderful? So why wouldn't they go into a field notes journal? So yeah, we'll be using some of those as time goes along. I've also begun making some of the envelopes from Margaret's kit, and I've added some of my little circle closures to them, and some of Tracy's, oh, I just hit you, some of Tracy's field notes, not field notes, it's vintage bug ephemera. I will put the name of the kit in the info box below the video. So yeah, I figured I would take you along and I would show you how to make this, or how I did it. Now, as you know, I used a Pendaflex folder. Let me see if I can find that little cover page for it here. Yes, it's a Pendaflex expanding file jacket. I've used the letter size ones. There seems to be a bit of a shadow. I'm going to see if maybe I can eliminate that. And as you can see, I have begun stamping and inking on this, but we do need to decorate the front of it. And I've chosen this page out of the kit, and I'm going to show you how I cut and size the paper to fit the front of the envelope. Now, you'll see that I already made a pencil mark on the back of this because I just wanted to make sure I was centering everything. But what I do, I take the sheet that I've chosen to be my cover, and I slide it into my file folder, and I just bring it to just below. Let's see if I can get this to cooperate here. There's a little mark here. You can see it's a little lip. And so what I do is I take my piece of paper, because I know where I want it to lie on the top of my file folder, and I will line that up just below that lip. You see there? You can see the back. Let me grab a hold of it. You can see the white back of my sheet there. And I line it up to just below the lip of the file folder. And then what I will do is I will push down, and I will, oh, my pencil's right here. I will grab my pencil and I will make a line around here because I want this little circle to show on the front of my file folder. So I will make a little mark here with my pencil. And then I take this out, and what I'll do is I will just cut out this little, well, semicircle here, and I'll cut around like this. Okay. And so let's just cut this out as carefully as I can. Again, it's probably not going to be perfect, but we are human beings and we are not perfect. So I've cut out that little semicircle, and you have something that looks like this. Okay? So this way, when you lay your paper on your file folder, oh, I didn't get it quite in the center, but that's okay. Because what's going to happen is this side's going to be the front, this side's going to be the back. So they're going to be two separate sheets of paper once we cut them in half. So then what I'll do is I will take out my cutting board, and I will, now I know that this is 11 inches across. It's an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So from this side to this side, I know it's 11 inches. And so what I'll do is I will just cut this sheet in half. Let's see if I can grab this. So half of 11 is 5.5. So I'm going to line it up on my 5.5 line. Oop, did it shift? Yes, it did. Okay. And then I'm just going to cut it down the center. Now you'll see you have these two little halves of the semicircle, and they're not quite the same shape, but that's all right, because what we're going to do is we're going to try and we're going to fix that little boo-boo right now. Okay, so we're going to line up our sheets of paper with our semicircle, and we're going to leave a border up here and a border here and a border on both sides. So now, since I do have that little boo-boo there, I'm going to take my scissor and I'm just going to merely cut around it. Whoop, cut around it. And I'm going to cut that little error off there. And that will create our little semicircle. Okay? So that will be the back, and this will be the front. Okay, and we can center each piece on each side separately. All right, but before we do that, we also want to line the inside of our file folder, and I've chosen this page out of the kit. And so since I'm not really going to worry about what shows in the center here, I'm just going to take this piece, which again is 11 inches long. I'm going to take out my cutting board again, and I'm going to cut it in half. Okay, so I'm going to line it up to 5.5 inches, like so. Make sure I got it there, and I do. And then I'm just going to cut this sheet of paper in half. Because in essence, what you're doing is you're making two separate file folders out of one file folder. Okay? Now what I do want to do is I'm going to slide this piece in on this side, like so. Okay, and you're going to see again that we're going to leave a little bit of a border from the center of our file folder and a little bit of border from this side of our file folder. So what I want to do is I do want to make this corner match this corner. So I'm going to grab my corner rounder, and I'm going to use the largest corner, and I'm just going to round that corner off so that when we slide our little piece of paper in, let's grab this, our rounded corners are going to be equal. Okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Now remember, we're going to slide this piece in on this side. So we're going to have to round the opposite corner. Maybe I should just move you up just a little. Okay, I didn't want you to be too far away. All right, so I'm going to grab this again. And I'm going to take, again, my largest corner rounder, and I'm going to round my corner. Okay? And so now you'll see again that once I slide this piece in, it matches up with that corner. Okay? Excuse me. Oh, it is allergy season here in Florida, and I'm sure it's beginning to be allergy season in other areas of the world. But now what I want to do is I do want to ink around the edges of my papers. So I'm going to grab my little dauber here, and I'm using Ranger Archival ink in potting soil. And I'm just going to ink the edges of my papers. On this one, you're really not going to see the whole paper. So I'm just going to ink part of the way down on the sides, but I am going to ink the whole top, okay, because I want it to be kind of grungy. Let's bring this over here instead so I'm not crossing over myself. So again, I'm going to only ink part of the way down, just a little bit that you would see, and I'm going to ink the corners a little bit more. Okay, so now we have the left side of our stuffed pocket, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Okay. Yeah, I had a nice amount of views on my video showing how I decorated the stuffed pocket, but not as many as I thought were staying around to watch what I was doing. So I figured, you know, it was a little bit boring and a bit repetitive because we weren't really doing anything exciting on it. Okay, so now this is going to be the front. And so I am going to ink around on all 4 edges here because this is going to show. So I'm going to do all along the sides. And then again, I'm going to do all along the bottom. And I'm sorry for those of you who don't like to watch the inking. If you'd like, I'm sure you can skip ahead in the video. I saw Margaret using Margareth. I keep saying Margaret. It's Margareth. I saw her use this, and I absolutely adored it. Those of you who know me know that I love my bugs and my grunge, and anything to do with either of them is always going to be a little bit exciting for me. So we're just going to ink here. See, this is why I did all the stamping and stuff on the whole file folder, so that you wouldn't have to watch. And I haven't really thought much past decorating the outside of the file folder, so that's probably going to be what we're doing today. And then as time moves along, we will decorate a little more. But yeah, you can see I already inked, and I have pre-folded my file folder only because these are a little bit thick, and I figured at least let me get that part done, and so you don't have to see me struggling with it. And just so you know, in case you want to use it, I do ink on the inside edges as well, and on the bottom just a bit, just so that it looks kind of finished. And I don't do anything on the back because we're going to glue these 2 pieces together. So let's start with adding our pieces of paper. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to put this, I'm going to do the inside first. And so I am going to get my glue, which I thought was out. And I am just going to put glue all along the edge here, like so. And it may look like I'm using a lot of glue, but I want this to stay stuck. And it is a little bit difficult maneuvering on the inside of the file folder. I mean, it's not difficult, it's just a matter of getting it so that it's in the right spot and stuck all the way. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, and you're not really going to be able to see too much of this, is I'm going to pop open my file folder, and I'm going to slide my piece of paper in, trying not to touch or get caught too much on the back. And I'm going to try and straighten this out so that it's evenly spaced. And it takes 2 hands, and I'm going to just slide it in, and I'm going to line my top edge of my paper up with the top edge of my file folder. And I'll lay that down, and then I'm just going to go over it like this. Okay. So now we have one side of our file folder done. Okay, you can see I lined it up. It's pretty straight. If it's not completely perfect, you can always try and move it a little, but I think it's pretty good. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to do the other side. And because I'm working around my tripod for my camera here, it might be a little bit hard for you to see what I'm going to do. Once I start sliding everything in, I'm just going to add a lot of glue because I want it to be relatively wet so it moves around a lot inside, and that I don't really have to worry too much. I'm trying to look in the camera and see if you can actually see what I'm doing, and you can. Okay, I'm going to slide that in. I'm going to try and straighten it out because it is a little bit crooked, and I am kind of getting glue everywhere. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I've got it in there, and I'm going to slide it over and try to make it evenly placed with the other one. I'm going to have to get a wet paper towel, or not a wet paper towel, but a wet baby wipe. I want to wipe off the excess glue that got smushed in there. So I'm going to grab my already filthy little baby wipe, and I'm just going to wipe around inside of here. Ooh, sorry about that. I did move you. There I go. I moved you back. And I'm just going to wipe. I moved you again. And I'm going to dab off the excess glue off of there as well. Okay, so now we have the inside of our file folder done. Okay, let's just put these away. And now we will grab the fronts. Now I'm not going to round the corners on these because this is a straight corner. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of see where I want to place it on here and decide if I want to slide it up a little further or down a little further. And I think I kind of like it right there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put glue on the back of it. We don't need as much as we did on the other one because we're not looking for the paper or the glue to be damp enough for it to be movable in there. And we're just gonna glue this on. And again, I'm just gonna try and center it on here. And I find that the bottom, I think the bottom of the file folder is a little bit more interesting than the top. So I'm just going to push down, and I'm going to make sure it's straight. And there's one half of our file folder completed, our stuffed pocket, I should say. And now we'll take the other side and we'll do the same thing on the other side, like so. And yes, as you know, our little rounded edges don't match each other, but it's not going to matter because you're not really going to see the two rounded edges together. What I do want to do, though, is I do want to make sure that I'm lining up my pages so that they're even with each other, so that the same amount of file folder shows on both sides. Okay, and I think we've got that on there relatively straight. And so there you go. The front and the inside of our file folder are decorated. So now, as I said, I've already pre-folded this. Now here's where you can see that again, it doesn't matter that our circles aren't the same on both sides because you're not seeing them at the same time. So if they're a little bit different, it's perfectly okay. All right. So now this is either the front or the back. And this is either the front or the back. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spread a layer of glue. I'm going to put it down here in the center like that. And I'm going to put a hefty amount along each of the edges. Okay, because we want it to stay stuck. And I'm going to put it along the top edge as well. We're probably going to have to wipe off some excess. And I'm going to put a crisscross in the middle. And just a little and a little. As I said in my other video with the stuffed pocket, I was going to try and stitch these, but I am just too afraid of what all this thickness might do to my sewing machine. And so therefore, I have elected not to have any problems with my sewing machine. And I've chosen simply to glue. Okay, now I'm going to squeeze along each of the edges and just make sure that this is staying stuck together. And I'm going to push down and I'm going to grab my bone folder and I'm going to just push along each edge like so. And just make sure that it is staying stuck down. Okay, and this will help too. Also, if you want to go around the piece of cardstock that you glued to the outside of your file folder, this will also help with that. And yeah, let's make sure we don't have any ickies coming out anywhere. And we can just go around on this side too, just to be safe. And make sure that everything is glued down and that the edges are meeting. And okay, I think we're good with that. So there you have it. That's the beginning of our stuffed pocket using the Field Notes kit from Margareth. I'm gonna try and link it. I've never tried to link KoFi to any of my YouTube videos. So I don't know if I can. Maybe I'll just link her channel. I'll do that little @ and then @7 Plaza. And this way you can go over and look for her videos on it. And this way you'll know she's able to link her KoFi. I mean, I can link my KoFi, but I don't know if I can link anybody else's kits. So there you have it. Now what I was doing here was I was just making sure that there was no excess glue that was going to glue the inside of my file folder together. And there you go. There is our stuffed pocket. Now you'll notice we do have the open edges on here as well as on the bottom. And this is what's going to help us give us the room for our journals to slide inside and out. So I hope you like that. I hope you enjoyed that. A little bit of a bumble here and there, but not too bad. And then what I'll do is I've started playing with the ephemera. I may cut out some more of these. I may print out. I do have another sheet printed out from the kit, which I have decided will more than likely be the front of my journal. This is another page from the kit. And what I might do is cut this page out again and use some of these images as ephemera to possibly decorate the front of the stuffed pocket. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. I'm just really, we're going at this together. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. And like I said, I'll try to link the kit. I don't know if I can. I don't know how to do that. I will play with it. All right, but I want to thank you for watching, and I'm sending you lots of love and big hugs. And I'm going to ask you to please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. I try to answer all of my comments within 4 or 5 days. It depends on how my week is going. Okay, guys? Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye for now. Take care. Love and lots of hugs. Bye.